Static crackles through the void. Frequencies collide in the space between worlds. You've tuned into something that shouldn't exist, a broadcast from the threshold where East meets the unknowable. I am Damien Tao. Tonight, I bring you two tales. One speaks of sacred ground violated, the other of blood that refuses to separate. Let's begin in Beijing's Dongcheng district, where a place called Longfu once thrived back when the living still believed fortune could be bought. In the 1980s, Longfu Mall was the crown jewel of Beijing commerce. Packed bodies, flowing money, the scent of ambition thick as incense smoke. They installed Beijing's first central air conditioning system, the first escalator. People traveled across the city just to ride that moving staircase like pilgrims to a mechanical shrine. The entire Longfu Temple district became a commercial cathedral. Annual temple fairs drew thousands. The energy was electric. Alive. Then fire consumed everything. February 1993, just days after Spring Festival celebrations, when the spirits were still restless from being honored. The cause? Aging electrical systems, wires that had rotted from within, like organs failing in an elderly body. No one noticed the decay until it ignited. Worse, the building had no automatic sprinkler system. Security patrols were infrequent, lazy. The fire spread like a hungry ghost released from containment. By the time firefighters arrived, black smoke clawed at the sky like the fingers of drowning souls. But the fire trucks stopped at the Hutong Alley entrances, ancient narrow passages designed centuries before vehicles existed. The trucks couldn't fit, like antibodies unable to reach an infection. Firefighters watched helplessly as the inferno consumed their target. City leaders arrived, faces drained of color, as if they'd glimpsed something beyond the flames. Orders came down: demolish the Hutongs if necessary, save Longfu Mall at any cost. Residents evacuated. Homes were torn apart to create passage. By then, the golden window had closed. The fire trucks penetrated too late, like medicine administered after death. In a darkly absurd twist, firefighters shattered the glass windows to spray water inside. They didn't realize the building's semi-sealed design had starved the fire of oxygen. Fresh oxygen rushed in like breath-filling dead lungs. The flames erupted with renewed fury, spreading to the rear warehouses. 30 minutes. 5 fire trucks depleted. The internal fire hydrants were decorative lies, plumbing that led nowhere. Residential water pressure couldn't reach fire suppression levels. They resorted to human chains passing buckets, like villagers fighting demons with wooden swords. Hours later, the fire surrendered, but Longfu Mall had transformed into a carbonized skeleton, unrecognizable as the vibrant temple of commerce it once was. Everything valuable had vaporized. Money and safes melted into ash. Gold and jewelry from the counters became formless sludge, like offerings consumed by hungry ghosts. Police cordoned the ruins to prevent looting. Employees sifted through wreckage, counting what remained, mostly memories and regret. Banks rushed in with reconstruction loans. Longfu had proven profitable before, surely it could rise again. They believed in resurrection through capital. But after rebuilding, Longfu Mall never stood upright again. It staggered like a corpse reanimated without its soul. Employees received final bonuses, severance pay that felt like funeral money. The Iron Rice Bowl era shattered permanently. Longfu attempted transformations, electronics exhibitions, small goods wholesale markets. Each venture failed, with the consistency of a curse fulfilling its terms. The mall's glory remained trapped in the past, like a ghost unable to cross over. Strangely, the Wahaha Grand Hotel to Longfu's west thrived busyness, booming like flowers on a grave. This disparity birth whispers feng shui, they said, the invisible architecture of fortune and doom. Longfu's exterior walls had no windows, a sealed box, and atop the building sat a dragon Dragon King Temple, like a footing stone, marking an urn full of ashes. Meanwhile, Wahaha Hotel stood lower, serving food-fresh offerings presented daily, Vaitsiring funds to the Bank of Fortune instead of the Bank of Hell. Two legends emerged about Longfu's curse. The first involves stone turtles. During reconstruction, workers excavated the foundation and unearthed two massive stone turtles. Their shells bore carved characters, one read present day, the other longevity. Supposedly, these were protective talismans buried by Liu Bowen during the Ming Dynasty spiritual guardians, anchoring good fortune to the earth. After excavation, both turtles vanished, shipped somewhere unknown. Their current location remains a mystery that tastes like betrayal. Folk belief claims that demolishing Longfu Temple destroyed the feng shui balance, snuffing out the spiritual pilot light that kept demons at bay. The turtles' removal scattered the accumulated wealth and energy, like pulling the plug on life support. The second legend involves fox spirits, far more unsettling. During demolition, workers broke through to a deep fox den beneath the old building. Before anyone could react, 3 abnormally large foxes burst from the opening. Workers gave chase, but the foxes moved with unnatural speed, dissolving into the Hutong maze like smoke through cracks. Many believe Longfu's decline stems from losing the fox spirit's protection. In Chinese folklore, foxes aren't just animals. For spiritual landlords collecting rent in fortune and safety. To compensate for broken feng shui, architects redesigned the building, creating that windowless coffin aesthetic, attempting to seal evil inside like trapping demons in a paper talisman. They added traditional temple architecture to the rooftop, making Longfu Beijing's only high-rise building, crowned with an ancient religious structure. 3 levels, ancient, modern, commercial mixing eras like incompatible blood types. The goal was obvious: invite gods and fox spirits back, begging for restored prosperity. But Longfu Mall's business never recovered. What was destined to fail continued failing, as if the curse had terms written in stone. Some say feng shui isn't something you can manipulate at will. Hun say you disturb sacred ground. The debt collector never forgets your address. Others claim those 3 escaped foxes were Longfu's true guardians. When they left, the location's spiritual energy scattered, making any remedy as useless as planting incense in a corpse's mouth, hoping it'll breathe again. That is where Longfu's story ends. Believe what you want. I'm just the messenger broadcasting from the border of your skepticism. But I'll offer this warning: demolishing temples and disturbing burial grounds requires more consideration than profit margins suggest. Some things you can't see, but they see you perfectly. Respect costs nothing. Arrogance bills compound interest. Now then, let's discuss the second tale. Fewer people know this one, but after hearing it, sleep won't come easily tonight. Our protagonist is Wang Hong, unremarkable in every measurable way. The kind of person life forgets to protect. His existence carried misfortune from birth. Father committed suicide when Wang was 5. Mother raised him alone, dying of illness last year without ever explaining why father killed himself. Wang became an orphan. Relatives treated him like a walking curse, avoiding him as if bad luck transmitted through proximity. His only comfort was reading, especially ghost stories and supernatural legends. He hunted for humanity's ugliness in fiction, perhaps because reality had already educated him thoroughly. One evening, Wang opened a magazine, the title read back to back. He scoffed. Not another one of these. He'd encountered countless back-to-back ghost stories. The formula was always the same: sleeping next to a corpse or waking up inside a coffin. Predictable, boring. He tossed the magazine aside and lay down, closing his eyes. Sleep should have come easily. He was exhausted from monotony. Sleep paralysis gripped him immediately. His body locked rigid, unable to move anything except his racing thoughts. Then he heard it. A voice. Childlike singing. Good friends back to back. Good friends, back to back. The voice circled his bed like a predator testing boundaries. Wang struggled to move, his muscles refused commands, as if someone had cut the wires between his brain and body. Good friends, back to back. The chant continued, patient and methodical. Wang woke violently, drenched in sweat. His body had remained on its side the entire time. He confirmed by checking the sweat pattern on his sheets. He hadn't rolled onto his back. The realization should have comforted him. Instead, it felt like a warning he couldn't decode. That afternoon, exhaustion forced another nap. Again, sleep paralysis seized him within moments. Good friends, back to back, the voice returned. Identical to before, suggesting this wasn't random neural misfiring, but something targeting him specifically. Wang woke again on his side. The sweat stains confirmed he'd never turned. His body knew something his mind refused to accept. By evening, Wang looked terrible, pale, hollow-eyed, aging years in hours. Suddenly, laughter echoed through his room. Wang spun around. Nothing, just empty space mocking his fear. Good friends, back to back. Good friends, back to back. The voice manifested again, but this time it had direction. Wang searched frantically. The voice wasn't external. It pulsed from inside his mirror. In the reflection, someone stood with their back turned. The figure repeated the chant endlessly, like a broken record stuck on prophecy. Who are you? Wang's voice cracked, the question emerging as barely more than breath. No response, just continued chanting. The figure in the mirror began turning slowly, movement unnatural, joints bending at wrong angles. When it faced him, Wang saw his own features staring back, but the eyes held knowledge he'd never acquired. The mirror Wang's smile too wide, stretching skin beyond normal limits. Good friends, back to back. Wang jolted awake, gasping. Third time, heart hammering against ribs like a prisoner demanding release. The sweat patterns again confirmed he'd slept on his side the entire time, never turning to his back. The next day passed in fog. Wang functioned mechanically, eating without tasting, moving without purpose. Night arrived again, inevitable as death. Wang lay down with dread pooling in his stomach like black liquid. This time, the chant changed. Good brothers, back to back. Good brothers, back to back. Not friends, brothers. The word choice carried significance Wang couldn't yet grasp. The new words pierced through. I'm under the bed. Wang woke immediately and tore his room apart. Under his bed, shoeboxes, old sneakers, dust. Nothing supernatural. Then memory surfaced, his parents' room. Since their deaths, he'd avoided it like a wound left undressed. He pushed open that sealed door. Everything remained frozen in time, shrine to absence. His parents' bed was traditional wood construction, sheets yellowed with age. He knelt and looked underneath. Old objects, picture frames, clothes, and a hospital report. Wang's hands trembled as he extracted the yellowed paper. The text remained clear, despite decades of hiding. The report documented Wang's birth, conjoined twins connected back to back. A medical nightmare. The separation surgery failed catastrophically. Both infants emerged critically weak, hovering between life and death. Wang survived miraculously. His twin brother didn't. Heart failure claimed the other half. The report noted, father's drinking and smoking during pregnancy likely caused the condition. Guilt was assigned. Responsibility documented. Mother carried that guilt for 15 years before jumping from a building when Wang was 5. Mother endured silently until illness took her recently, never speaking the truth, leaving Wang alone with secrets he never asked to inherit. Wang finally understood why he couldn't sleep flat. Why the mirror held another version of himself. Why the chant changed from friends to brothers. That night, Wang lay down differently. Not on his side, flat on his back, accepting the position his body had refused. He closed his eyes and waited. Good brothers, back to back. The voice arrived punctually, like it had been waiting decades for permission. Wang didn't struggle. He felt something cold pressing against his spine, the sensation somehow familiar. Like being in the womb again. Two lives pressed together, sharing warmth before separation destroyed everything. "I'm sorry," Wang whispered. "I'm sorry you waited alone for so long." The cold sensation gradually warmed. Like 20 years ago, when they were still whole. The next day, neighbors smelled decay. They called police. Officers broke down the door to find Wang dead on his bed. Cause of death, heart failure. The same condition that killed his twin brother at birth. 3. The debt collector finally closed the account. Tense. His position was unusual, lying flat. Face holding a peaceful smile, the expression of someone who'd finally stopped running. On the nightstand sat a black and white family photo, conspicuous in its completeness. Taken when Wang was 4, father, mother, and twin boys, all of them smiling. 4. The surgical knife separated what shouldn't have been split. Feeling that chill creeping up your spine yet? Some debts can't be cancelled. Some connections run deeper than flesh. Wang's story teaches us, sometimes loneliness isn't being alone. It is missing your other half, like a ventriloquist's dummy searching for its puppeteer. How many people in this world are actually waiting to reunite with another version of themselves? Long Fu Mao's feng shui. Wang's back-to-back curse, seemingly unrelated tales, but both express the same truth. Once something sacred is lost, no amount of compensation retrieves it. Long Fu lost its fox guardians. Wang lost his conjoined brother. Buildings and humans alike, without their foundation, only hollow shells remain. Like paper effigies that look alive until you realize they're stuffed with death. Feng shui, ghosts, spirits. Ultimately, these are projections of human consciousness. You believe they exist. You don't. They wait patiently for you to turn around. Tonight's broadcast ends here. Listen to the wind outside. Doesn't it sound like someone calling your name? On your way home, check behind you. Maybe there is a shadow you can't see, pressed back to back against your spine. The incense burns low. Subscribe so you don't miss the warning when the spirits rise again. Sleep carefully.